the baby's crashing the stream,
Hold
man.
on, y'all. Hold on.
Nothing wrong with that. Peace, peace, family. Welcome back to another Sunday dinner, Sunday cook session. Oh, let's change
Yeah,
that.
peace.
All right, man. So, sister, how was your week?
Peace, family. Yes, another week, all is well. This week was, I'm just grateful. That's all I can say is I am grateful. It was a touchy week because I wasn't feeling 100%, but I'm grateful that I'm back on my feet. I'm back to my regular regular self. Let me put it like that. I think I got caught up in the energetic, the shift that was taking place in the atmosphere this week.
Mm,
Yeah, I
totally,
am.
totally understand.
Mhm. How was your week?
My week was eventful and I want to say very much, how do I put it? Uh, very enlightening. That's the word I'm looking for.
Uh, that's a good word to use at this juncture.
Nice. Peace, family. Everybody, welcome back to another week. I kind of missed what you had just said, Dr. Sublime. Um, do you mind repeating that? It sounded like you were saying something about the energy this week.
Yeah, I said I think I got caught in the energy this past week because man, I took a what you call it a downturn. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to use that word a downturn, but any which way. My
Okay.
system was completely out of whack.
Okay.
Completely out of whack. But I'm grateful that I'm still here to stand to tell the tale and to know that hey, we are heading in the right direction in spite of all that we see going on.
I say. I say. Yep. I don't think enough people realize that it happens to the best of us. You know, just gonna have those
Mhm.
days, just gonna have those times. Once again, ironically, I was just talking about this the other day to the goddess. Sometimes we get frequencies and we get thoughts that's not our own. You know, and
Mhm.
just gotta remember that we the spiritual warfare thing is real, and
Mm,
especially when you usually vibing high or usually in a good mood, and then you just have this day out of nowhere. It's just like you know you're not at your best.
Mhm.
It's these frequencies, it's these deities that sending bad energy out, all type of stuff be going on. So I'm glad you was able to bounce right back and get back in your energy.
Yeah, and then I was looking at something. I think it was today or yesterday in terms of the Sherman residence and stuff like that, and how that is like showing you really how the earth in itself, is
Hmm.
really uproar and really moving and stuff like that and shaking. So,
Hmm.
uh, I'm happy I didn't grab onto it and say, oh, this, get in terms of claiming sickness and stuff like that. But I recognize, hey, this is totally an ascension process.
Hmm. Yep. That's another thing too. You know,
Yeah,
when you getting those upgrades, it'll
yeah,
definitely shut you down. You just gotta sleep. You gotta rest. Don't even, you would think you might be sick or something, but it's really just the body getting prepared for what's to come.
yeah.
Well,
That's it, right. And so, we just got to continue to encourage our people. And so, even what Spec said to me last week, I'm totally grateful for him recognizing that inside of me in terms of um, getting all these downloads and revelation without just being natural and not through anything else. And so
mhm,
this is the part of it too, when you could just sit in that presence and you recognize and realize, hey, this is a download, this is some information, this is some DNA upgrade going on. That thing what they call us the junk DNA and stuff like that um, is actually hidden DNA, hidden powers and stuff like that is inside of us that need activating. You understand? And that's the good thing about it. So now, in terms of the topic for the day, talking about love, right, Spec? That's what you say? What is love?
Yeah, what is love? What does it mean?
What is love? What does it mean? And in this season, um, love, like we know, feelings aren't facts. And so, just to talk about love, it is, we learn that love's supposed to be the highest vibration. And then we also know that love supposed to be unconditional, is supposed to
Hmm.
be um, one that is sensitive to others. You understand? It's supposed to be not supposed to be jealous and puffed up and arrogant and all this crazy stuff. But love's supposed to be something that you can literally give to someone without them even loving you.
mm, mm,
Sometimes in some of my videos, I say I love you, and there's nothing you could do about it, and that's literally true because you could love people, and there's nothing they could do nothing with your love. You know,
Right.
mhm,
you could be disappointed in the way they treat you. You could be disappointed in the way they act and stuff like that. But that still shouldn't stop you from loving them.
mhm.
Right.
Love is a
Yep.
gift that just is freely given. You know. So yeah, that's my intro to what is love.
Mm.
Mm. You know what? I think that love is for sure one of the best gifts or things that a person could have right now in these times because a lot of people is struggling financially and not really where they want to be in life, but I just feel like and then there's so much stuff unpredicted. I mean, so much stuff going on that we can't really predict. You got all these talks of wars and all this stuff that's coming up, and the not the world ending, but society ending. And I'm saying that to say, like, what if we do get to a point where it's no food in the grocery stores, and we in that apocalyptic state? You know, I think that one of the
Mhm.
best things to have in that situation would be love. To hell with all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because that stuff gonna run out. But I just feel like that's one of the best things to have if we do end up in that apocalyptic state. It's unconditional love for somebody, or you know, because it could take you a long way, keep you strong, keep you motivated, things like that.
Mm.
Yes, Ashay.
Ashe, Ashe.
You know,
Yeah, love is it's a real fickle matter. It is a feeling, but it's not just a feeling. I believe it's something more than just a feeling. That's my opinion on it. That because we know feelings aren't facts, and somebody might say, "Well, I love you," but you know, it, but if it's a fact, love is real. True love is unconditional.
Mhm.
It doesn't have any boundaries, and it's a tough one to actually explain. That it's better shown than expressed
absolutely.
or
Yeah,
spoken, in my opinion.
Okay, so I got a
yeah.
question for the
So you
tribe.
say, well,
Oh,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
God. Go ahead. No, go ahead, God.
I just was going to add to what Spec said just now,
Mm-hmm.
because we also say that love is an action verb. You understand? We could say we love somebody, but what is our action towards that person? Or you understand, because a situation, circumstance showed up, that means you still love the person, or that love disappears because of what that person did or say.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Um, I actually want to add to that as well because it's crazy, man. It's ironic that we talking about this, and I just went got all this information this morning from one of my family members. But it's chaos. It's a little bit of chaos going on in my family right now, and a lot of people is making threats to one another and things like that. So, what is love when I don't I have a hard time digesting how you can say you love somebody, but uh, you quick to be ready to cause bodily harm to them. You know how? I mean, I get it. Sometimes we get emotional, we get upset, we say things we don't mean, but that's a oh f you, I can't stand you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But to be so quick to say, oh, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you when I see you, and I'm gonna do this and the third. What is love? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that part. Um, so actions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know
Wow.
why you don't get it, God? Because you operate in a space of true love. So that's why
Hmm.
we don't understand when people can do those things. Like I don't understand my mother. Like I don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? And it's because I operate on a different frequency. We're speaking a different language, you know?
Hmm.
And when we speak of that different language, it doesn't matter how much we love the person, like the good doctor said. It don't matter. That is what they will do with that love. You can love them till the cows come home. It don't mean that they're gonna reciprocate that or even appreciate that and show that.
Mhm.
So I think
Hmm.
it's I think
Yeah.
it's possible to love somebody even after they've done something. That doesn't mean that you are going to show uh, disdain or hatred or something towards yourself by keeping them around just because you love them. Now we know we've all done this, but now that we operate on a real, true love frequency, we wouldn't even dream of doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to get away from me. I don't care who you are
Yeah.
because I want to
Hmm.
operate in a space of love. And I get that you
Hmm.
don't want to do that. That's fine. That's your choice. However, I want to operate in a space of love, so that's what I'm going to do. You know,
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
yeah, love
Yeah.
is love can you can love somebody, but not uh, not agree with their behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Hmm.
can love a crackhead uncle. He was always speaking righteous, teaching you stuff, growing up, whatever, whatever. But next thing you know, your PlayStation's missing, game system, TV, whatever, or he,
Hmm.
Mhm.
he stole out of your piggy bank or something like that goes on to this day.
Yep.
But because that's Uncle John, or you know what I mean, because that's Uncle Speck or Ani Sublime, we
Mhm.
sit take that. You know what I'm saying? Or we
Yeah.
just, oh yeah, man, that's just my uncle. Yeah, don't leave nothing around him. How about not
Mhm.
him around you?
Hmm.
That's when you
Right.
show real love to yourself. We have to know how to love ourselves before we can love others. You know,
Hmm.
That's it.
and
Yep.
Yeah.
that's what inspired me to create the title for today was this video here. I was like, wow, you don't know what love looks like until you're actually shown it.
Hmm.
In the
And
physical sometimes.
yep.
Hmm.
And to answer your question too, in terms of family members going at it and stuff like that, but how do they love? Because remember, some people love conditionally, not unconditionally. I love you because you could do this for me, or I love you because
Hmm.
you understand.
Hmm.
So it's
Yep.
conditional. I love you until you piss me off. I love you until you steal
Right.
something from me. I love you until you understand. And then when you do something to trigger, I don't love you no more. I could just take your life. You understand? Because think
Mm,
about it. When you think about husbands and wives who've been married for X amount of years, and all of a sudden that husband now or that wife decides to kill the other spouse, but this is supposed to be the person they're in love with.
right.
They love, they took that vow for better, for worse, to richer, all that stuff, and still end up turning around and killing that person that they love. So I love you to the point whereas I can kill you because if I can't have you, I don't. Nobody else can have you. Kind of love.
Mm-hmm,
You see,
mm-hmm,
so there's those condition, those the people loving based on condition.
mm-hmm. That's an excellent
Um,
answer, and it make a lot of sense.
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So there's a difference. This love thing is so vast and so can go from so many different directions and ways. But a lot of times when people say, I love you, sometimes it's based on, excuse my, I use this, lips, hips, and fingertips, or
Yep.
biceps, triceps, and concepts. You
mm-hmm,
understand how pretty she is, or how handsome he is, or how much money he has, or how much money she has, or she got
mm-hmm.
a car, or he got a house, or you see. So that's a conditional love kind
Right.
of thing.
Yep.
I only love you on the surface of what you could do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep.
Now, sometimes people get together, they become friends, and then that friendship develops into this love thing that hey,
Mm-hmm,
I could talk to this person all day or all night and don't feel time going past.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
And that ends up being into a relationship turning into a marriage type of situation.
mm-hmm,
Or sometimes it's just pure friendship. You just love this the friendship that you have with this person. You know,
mm-hmm.
they always spitting truth and they all just that what do you call it? Just that energy that that person have. You could
Exactly.
just talk
Yep.
to them. You just love their presence. You just love the conversation that you have with them. So it ain't no filious love kind of thing, or, you know that sexual love. It is that just that genuine. No, there's a filious love, that friendship, that brotherly love.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that sexual love kind of thing, that sexual attraction love. And there's that. That's why I say there's a different phase, spectrums to this love thing. The agape love is
Mm-hmm.
that unconditional love. I love you just because I just love you because use you, and that's it.
Exactly. The energy you put out,
Yeah,
the way you make me feel, the way I make you feel.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
the chemistry. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad you said all that because that makes me go back to the question I was getting ready to ask. So do y'all think that it's a certain time limit that should be a certain window where you should love somebody, or is it something that you just know, or do you think it's like uh okay, I don't want to say I love this person, or I don't think I love this person. It's too soon. Or let me see. I think y'all get what I'm trying to say. Is there a
A
time
time
limit?
frame of when you could
Time.
tell
There you
somebody you
go.
love them.
Right. Yep. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Is there a time frame to tell somebody that
No,
you love them? What's y'all
there's
thoughts on that?
no, there's no time frame in telling somebody. You can meet somebody today, and for some reason, your spirit and that person's spirit connects,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I
and
agree
you just
100%.
you just have this overwhelming love feeling for them.
Yep.
You
Hmm.
understand? A lot of times, why people refuse to or afraid, that's the word right there, afraid to tell somebody that they love them because of past experience. And if
Okay.
we keep on living according to past experience, we're going to miss opportunities of true, genuine love or friendship
Hmm.
because we holding on to that past experience. Or this person, I told them I love them, and this is what they did to me. Okay, so I told them, let me, I can say this to you, all right? I told somebody today, I told them, if love fail 100 times, I will go for 101.
Mm.
I will
Yeah.
not, I will not give up on love. I am a lover of love. And so no disappointment, no heartbreak, or I don't even use heartbreak no more. No what I call it now, expectation, no broken expectation can cause me to give up on love.
Right.
Mm,
Mm.
And that's the problem right now. Why people are afraid to say to tell somebody they love them because of past experience. And if you're not getting over that past experience, it'll be hard for you to tell some they gotta prove themselves to you to love them. Ah,
mm,
if you
Yep.
love them, you love them. Hey, I love you. If they don't say it back to you, don't feel bad. At least you
mm.
clear your heart, your conscience. Hey, I,
You know,
I
it's
have to, I love you. And it shouldn't be staged or practiced. It should come natural.
Facts,
right.
facts,
I
facts, facts.
say, you
Shout
know,
out to I'm just gonna say this real quick, guys. Shout out to Hikma Lukman. I hope I'm saying that correctly. No disrespect if I did not say it right. But shout out to you in the chat. He said love comes with conditions too much, too often.
Yes.
facts, facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Like you
I
just
want.
say no, that I love you because, you know, that's condition. I love you because you got money. I love you because you got a house. Take conditions. Why don't you
I
just love me because I'm human?
I wanted to speak on the love that Dr. Sublime mentioned earlier. You know, you had mentioned how people say "I love you," and a lot of people just say it because it's the norm, because it's like a phrase. You know what I mean? It's not even it
Hmm.
don't mean anything anymore. You know, to a lot of people. And like I was, I would express, this to people around me. I'd be like, why why do I have to say I love you when I'm constantly showing you that I love you? Like sometimes I know a person wants to hear it, needs to hear it, and that's cool because I do say it every so often. However, when I say it, it's going to have power behind it because I've been showing it. You know what I mean? Like when I tell you guys that I love you, when I say I love the tribe, or I love Dr. Sublime, I love J Hooks, like that is genuine because I'm constantly showing that. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like
Hmm.
we live in a society today where people just saying it like especially girlfriends do that all the time. Yep, love you. Yep.
Women, women. We are emotional beings and we love hearing I love you. Love, I just stick that there. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. What? But I just want to talk about the ones who are just saying it because it's a part of the language, just like
Hmm.
saying dope, or it's just a part of the slang for a lot of
Right, right, right.
the younger generation of women hanging out, this, that, and but they're fighting all the time. They're
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with each other's man, doing this, that, and the third, backstabbing each other, backdooring each other for whatever reason. But then when everything's calm, cool, and collective, oh, yep, all right, love you, talk to you later. But they just had a blowout where they didn't speak for 3 weeks or a month or however long because of something that just happened. And it's like, who wants to keep going through that? You know what I mean? Who wants to live like
Let's
that?
not let's not forget about the
Hmm.
one. Oh, I love you, girl. Hey, girl. And as soon as she walk off, oh, you see her shoes she got on? Why would she come out the house with them?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
oh
That's
my
that's
goodness,
a
man. What type of love is that? What is
Right.
that's a
love?
superficial. That's superficial love, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
superficial love. That's all that. That's superficial. That's only what they
And
call it. Surface love.
yeah, and
Eye
one more thing
service
that
love. No, mouth service love. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
one more
Yeah.
thing that Jay Hooks was speaking on as far as like saying it early or so when saying it late or when to say it or whatever. You say it when you feel it.
Exactly.
And but
Yeah.
Exactly.
the problem is how many people have said this, oh, I don't say I love you first when I'm in a relationship. Well, maybe that might be the reason why you
Mm-hmm.
haven't been able to cultivate a proper relationship, and every 2 years you with somebody new, or every year you
Mm-hmm.
got somebody new on your arm. That might be the reason, because you just got to be the last one to say it, because you, for some reason, in their subconscious brain, they won't get hurt the same if they don't say it first. But you still end up hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it matters. So it's like, if you gotta say it, say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it just boils down to, again, that self love and just being real enough with yourself to express how you feel. If you love somebody, you love them. If they don't love you back yet, then that's just what it is. Like Dr. Sublime said, at least you expressed how you feel. You can't be following in your emotions and how you feel, based on somebody else's
Yeah.
thoughts of what's going on, because a lot of times that is the case. They
Mm-hmm.
might do love you back, but they don't being hurt. So many people is dealing with so much trauma these days and bad
Yep.
relationships and stuff like that, that they might do love you back, but they scared to say it,
Mm,
you know?
Yep.
right.
That's the truth.
Hmm.
And you know what I find interesting, that it's this is why, like, when we always talk about the pieces of the puzzle, we got to take aspects of everything that's in front of us. That includes the even the religions that are filled with lies. There's still truth in everything, right?
Hmm.
And so it's amazing how, like, you got the religions will teach you this, that even if you say I love you, or you greet somebody and they don't greet you back, or they don't say I love you back, their spirit spoke to you, spoke back to you for them. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we have to remember that. Like, we still have to carry in that same type of atmosphere, knowing that their spirit knows better. Their
Hmm.
true higher self is repeat is responding for them, because they're in a different state of being. They might have another entity attached to them that's just got them, rough, rugged, like, because I went through that. I was
Hmm.
a person, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? You could say, back then it was good morning, or it didn't matter what it was. Good morning, grand rising, hello, how's, nice day outside. And I just keep walking, you know,
Hmm.
or I just give them a smug look, wouldn't respond, you know. What kind of miserable piece of shit, you know what I'm saying, does that? And I'm calling myself that. So,
Hmm.
if you're a person that's out there that does that, you may not realize it right now, but you're gonna realize it at some point, that that's not the way to carry true love and true enlightenment. Because we are each other.
Hmm. Yep.
And this video talks about what y'all was just saying, like how you can meet somebody today and say I love you. Like, there was so much gems dropped in this video, just in this one interaction. It's what compelled me to want to talk about it.
Hmm. I know I know y'all have too, but I've heard of stories of guys meeting a woman in 2 weeks. Oh, I know she gonna be my wife. I know this gonna be my wife, and they do get married and they be married for years. Then you don't really hear about it too much nowadays. But I remember back then people used to talk about love at first sight. You
Mm,
know, hmm
yeah,
I
it's
think
real.
love has become like you said, bro, kind of watered down. It's become uh transactional too transactional. Now it's just too
Mm-hmm.
many women that's just too worried about it. It's like it's like they trying to somebody it's like somebody is trying to almost erase it. It seems like to me sometimes, because it's just too many women online. But again, the internet crazy. That's the internet. That ain't the real world. But it's just a lot of women online. It's just they more worried about what can you buy me. I don't care nothing about how much you love me, how good you gonna treat me. What can you buy me? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just hate that it's becoming like that, because I see the manipulation in that, to make people,
Uh-huh.
more materialistic. Um,
Right.
and I just feel like that mentality is knocking women out of their divineness. You losing your divineness if that's all you worried about is what can a man buy me. you know.
But then when you look at women like that, you wonder if they understand their divineness too. That's
Mm,
another thing. If they don't even
mm,
understand or recognize who they are and their worth,
mm,
that's where their mindset is, and they're brought up seeing, and the environment and stuff like that has a lot. When you see women are like that, based on what you could do
mm,
for me,
Mm-hmm.
with their
yep,
mindset, you know.
mm,
Yep.
So they may not even know their worth and their value. Because people talk about worth and value as if it's there again, an exchange. I worth a car, I worth a house. That no,
mm, right,
that that
right.
that, that that's not your worth. Your worth is who you are, your character.
Right.
Mm,
You understand who I am as a woman, how I present myself, how I speak about myself, how I carry myself in public, how I carry myself when I'm by myself.
That's right.
mm,
Before even a man comes into the picture, even for a man, same thing, before a woman comes into a picture, how he conducts himself, what's his character like?
Right.
mm.
But in the midst of saying all of this, I want to, we as a high vibe tribe, send out our love to our Queen P and our alchemists. We miss y'all and we love y'all.
Shout out to
And that's
them.
a fact.
Yes.
Yeah. Real agape love. But yeah, so when you look at women like that who are in that barter system, that's what it is. They selling their bodies for to be living in a house, or some of them just I just want a child because I'm getting too old right now. I ready to get married because I done at this certain age or whatever have you.
Mm-hmm,
So or they sleeping their way to the top. They ain't looking for love. They're just
mm-hmm.
looking for again. That's opportunities. There are some people just looking for opportunities or
Yep.
somebody to take them out of their living condition.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
So they'll tell you they love you all day, every day. So you could take them out of the situation that they're in. Especially if they
mm-hmm,
get what they call it. Some of y'all talk about what credit scores and all this different stuff. So if they
mm-hmm,
got poor credit scores, poor borrowing habits, poor living condition, oh, I love you. Oh, you're so
uh-huh. And
you
that's
know?
why I said that. That's why I said I believe that in these times to have somebody, even if it's not a romantic relationship, to have somebody that you got unconditional love for, I believe is the greatest gift you can have in these times. Because again, if we come to a point where it's apocalyptic and all this materialistic stuff is ash, all
Mhm.
this stuff that everybody is willing to sell their body for and sell their soul for, if it all turns to ash, complete dust,
Yep.
what only thing you're gonna
Mhm.
have is that unconditional love from somebody else, or and that love that you have for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And
Serious thing.
a lot of people are asking that question to themselves. They when they get to that point, like they're asking, like, what is love? When they start asking themselves that question, they remove toxicity. They remove people that are not really in love, that are in fake love. I guess is a, for lack of a better term. Like, it's fake love. It's not real. Just like these seedless fruits and vegetables, it's not real if it's not authentic. If it didn't, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
go through the actual process of and the pain of growing through the dirt. You know what I mean, and fighting through other weeds and other plants, and you know what I mean. When you go through that, you know what love looks like. When
Hmm.
when it's staring you dead in the face, you can't miss it. You know.
And sometimes you just get that gut feeling. You just know, the soul just knows. You can't even explain it, but the soul just knows it's something about this person that I feel
Yep.
connected to them,
Yeah.
or just that
Yep.
chemistry. Like us, like the tribe. We've had this chemistry since day one, in my opinion. I think y'all feel the same way, but we just kind of had this chemistry since day one. I remember
Yep.
we was talking about something. I think we was talking about a guest or something, and I'm like, um, I don't really know them too well, or something like that. I had said, and I think it was Oracle that was like, so we don't really know each other like that. And I'm like, dang, you right, but it just at that point it had felt like I already knew y'all, you know.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh, I gotta step away for a second. I'll be right back.
You good. You good.
No problem.
The babies are cracking,
Yeah.
crashing
So
the, crashing the live. That's okay. But the babies are full of
yes,
love.
yes.
I love when we
Well,
see like we see these videos, like especially that
yeah,
commercial. You know, you remember the commercial when, and I know it went global when the pandemic was like right around the pandemic and George Floyd and all that happened. Like they showed
yeah,
this video where these two children, they were babies, and it was a melanated baby and a Caucasian baby, and they just ran up to each other and was just walking, and
yes,
that was
yes,
such a beautiful commercial, you know. But we don't get a lot of that.
yes,
But
yes,
they're not pushing that type of stuff, and it's for a reason. Like he said, it seems like that they're doing their best to erase it, and it's like, yeah, because if they erase love, then you get things like, you know, Black Panther, Black Power, you know,
yeah.
white
These
man
genocide
today,
and stuff
white
like
power.
that. Yeah.
You know, that's the type of stuff you get when they start erasing love, you know.
Yep.
And these entities are real, man. It's really real.
Yep. It is. You know, that's where you get all these genocide from and stuff like that because why? Love is not there. You know, love
Yeah.
is love is not there. They just I believe I better than you. You believe you better than me. So now we ain't got no love for one another. We just wanna what you call it? Erase one another out of this world, unalive each other.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah, and that's taking
serious
the
thing.
coward's way out, in my opinion. You know, to
It is.
unalive somebody, to go after somebody. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's gang banging in the streets, or if it's a husband killing his wife, or vice versa.
Yep.
It's all, you know what I'm saying. It's all, it's not real. It's not real
No.
love when you can do that, because you know, if you've ever loved that person, you wouldn't want to see harm come to them.
No.
You know, and
Exactly, exactly.
shout out to Black Hat Life saying, you know, we always love when it's convenient.
Took the words right out my mouth, man. Shout out Black
Yep.
Hat.
You know, it's more than a staple or status quo. You
Yep.
know, love is what the universe speaks,
Hmm.
and it's
Yes.
natural to love. It's just natural. We going
Yeah.
against nature. We are going against our instinct when we are in hate mode. You know, and
Yep.
yeah, you can turn
We
it
are
off.
ourselves.
Yeah, like you got
Hmm.
genocide happening, but those people have turned the love off inside of them, and it takes work to do that. You know what I mean? You have to
Hmm.
work to tell yourself that this person is less than, or you know, like like these people weren't just committing the crimes of slavery or committing the crimes of genocide. You know what Hitler's doing or whatever, and just it being, oh well, I'm just this is just how I am. No, you have to turn that off. You have to turn that love off inside of you in order to operate there in that space. You know,
Yep.
I truly believe that, like, because love is just too natural. You know, you get when Hitler was born, he was hugged and loved by somebody. It may have only been for a brief moment. Somebody showed him what love looks like.
Yep.
But then there was somebody that showed him, you know, this feels good when I get to oppress others or beat up on somebody, you know, because I was beat up
Mm.
on and I was mistreated. So I get to show my dominance on another soul.
Yep.
It's unnatural, in
Yep,
my
it is.
opinion.
Yeah. So you have a video you want to share, or you will share it now or later?
Yeah, we can show it whenever. You know, we're absolutely ready to show it.
Folks in the house.
Do you need the
Yeah, yeah,
shoes? I
I'm
give
with
you my
y'all.
shoes.
What? No, 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 no. I'm not gonna take your shoes.
Because you don't have a shoes. Are you okay?
Why were you gonna give me your shoes?
Because I see you are very fit.
What's your name?
Dana.
Zachary. Nice to meet you. Love you.
I love you, Zachary.
Where are you
I thought I am from old Yugoslavia. I thought you needed shoes.
I do need shoes.
I go buy for you. I buy for poor people. I bring them food all the time.
Why?
I'm gonna buy you shoes. Come on.
Why?
Because I want to do that for you. I don't need money, but I can't afford it. I have to use my credit card.
Could you get me a pair of shoes? Do you?
Yes, I will.
I'll stay here.
What size are you?
I like size.
I just want to pause the video real quick. Do y'all hear her say, I do this for people all the time?
Yes, that's what she said.
You know, like I analyzed this video and watched. I said, wow, like it's so genuine and so real. She's gonna mention everything. I think, you know what I mean. We're gonna have a lot more to talk about after this video's done. Let's get into it.
Size 10 or 11?
They were the nicest ones.
Pardon?
They were the nicest ones in there.
How much were these? 20 bucks?
So what? Forgive a shit the price. The life's too short.
How can I pay you back?
You don't need to pay back. You can just give me a hug. I want to try to save as many people as I can.
Are you crying
I
right
am
now?
not rich. Yeah, I am not rich, but I have a good heart. We all the same. I don't care if you're green, white, blue, black. Are you bi? Are you gay? Are you straight? You're a human being.
Can I put these on right now?
I can put it for you.
Are you sure?
Yes, yes.
My
I
foot's
bought
really-
the chateau. Who cares? The water will wash everything, but cannot wash bad heart.
Donna, thank you so much.
Okay, here you are, my dear. Try it. It's a warm heart.
Thank you, Donna. You made my day.
Thank you so much.
I just got.
Oh, you look so cute.
Do I look good?
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you.
Have a great day. Okay.
I just got
Make
fired
sure-
from my job. I've been
Oh
here.
my God! Do you want me to buy you food? Come on.
No, I have
Wow.
food here.
Oh God, can I buy you something? Do you need any? Do you need a place to
No,
stay?
no, no, no.
Listen, Burger King. There is pizza place.
No, 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 no.
Do you want my address? You come to stay in my house.
Oh, my
Everybody
God.
need roof over head.
I want to share my lunch with you.
No, please don't give me your lunch. Let's go. I buy for you lunch. Please. Are you no? Are you okay? Why are you giving me?
I have $1,000 for you.
You lost your job.
I was blessing the first strangers. $1,000 for you.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Are you serious? Oh my God.
I love you.
I love you so much. Do you need the shoes? I give you my shoes.
Wow.
What?
I don't think there's no question what this woman's gonna do with that $1,000. Like,
You know
no
it.
question, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, she gonna turn that over and helping somebody else, some other people again.
Yeah.
And that's genuine love.
That video was so powerful to me.
Genuine, unconditional love.
Lets me know that you know, my son, my daughters, you know, my people have something to look forward to in this life, in this world. You know,
Yep. There's still some good people in this world.
in the world. You
Still
know,
some good people in this world.
and I didn't notice before. I actually thought the opposite until I started operating from the frequency of love. I realized there's more love in the world than there is hate, or there is, you know, the opposite. The reason I can confirm that is because if it was like people say, oh, the world is evil, or, you know, they say things like that, that's inaccurate, because if it was totally like that, you would run into it every single time you left the house, every time you went to the store, every time. But it's not that way. When you go outside your house, oh, a beautiful day we're having, isn't it? Better than that rain. People are just talking they don't know each other, never met each other ever before, and they are having a full-blown conversation. And I've been part of this several times over.
Yep.
And when I leave that conversation, I always say to myself, man, I love that person. I love people, you know. And yeah, they get on your nerves sometimes, because some people are just operating in a different frequency. That doesn't mean you don't love them. You know, they get on your nerves when you got to, you know, deal with the hogwash. And like I've been telling everybody, you know, I just happen to be highly severely allergic to bullshit. You know?
You said lotion? What'd you say?
No, I said I just happen to be highly severely allergic to bullshit.
Oh bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that's, that's the only thing I display is, I'm allergic. I have allergic reactions to bullshit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And unapologetically, like, my wife's neighbors can't stand me, but I don't care because I'm unapologetic. Because I love you, because I love myself, I'm going to speak the truth. The
Mm-hmm.
truth is, you guys are, you're being inconsiderate. You don't care about where you live. You know what I mean? Like, my wife and I are one of the only few people around here that clean up that yard, and you know what I'm saying, clean up around, like, that's like. And then you got people that are jealous because of the relationship that my wife has with her landlord. You can't be jealous of that. You're not doing any of those things that we do. You know what I mean? That they don't have
Mm-hmm.
to ask us for. We're not. This place still looks the way when she moved in. Mine is Ox's stuff, but that's wear and tear. They know that, but it's not. I mean, you go to some people's place and it's just tore up because they don't care. You know,
Yep.
it's like I tell my wife. I said one day
Yeah.
these floors are gonna be ours. They're gonna be marble. Don't drag the chairs across the floor, please. And she stopped doing that. Don't run the water that long. One day that water bill is gonna be ours. You know what I mean? So I think that's true love, man. When you loving yourself, you can love others so
Love
much
others, respect and appreciate other people's properties and all that stuff. All that is a part of love.
right. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
people love they love animals more than they love people. A lot of people
Hmm.
operate this way, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not to say
Yeah.
you shouldn't love animals, but to put love into an animal but not
Why
into a person is nasty work.
why do y'all think that is though? I personally think it's because an animal, say for example, a cat, even a dog, but an animal is you just gonna feel the vibration from them as opposed to a person might be combative, they may be argumentative. Animal is not really gonna give you no backlash or have a second opinion. You just gonna feel their energy. I think that might have something to do with it. And my daughter got a cat, and this was like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and the cat walked up on me, and I literally just felt the vibration from that cat. It was weird. It was a crazy experience. And then, like a couple of days later, a video popped up on YouTube talking about how healing cats can be. With just they vibration. So, do y'all think that play a part in why people love animals more? It's because they less argumentative. They're not gonna talk back. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna feel the vibration from them, and especially if you one of those animal lovers that pour all into your animals. You buying them top notch food. You as soon as you come in the house, you petting all on them, rubbing all on them, sleep in your bed, which you some people do. Do y'all think that play a big part in it?
I mean, I think it plays a part, but I think the bigger part is these people have grown so detached from sociology, from social,
Yep.
their social awareness, their social intelligence. You know what I mean? That they've gone so antisocial. They've poured their love into these animals because they've lost the trust in people because they've been hurt and they walked through
Mm-hmm.
a path of
Past experience,
pain, you
yes.
know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
walked through a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, and I know because I carried that with me, and I used to hate people, and I also hated myself, and I don't like using the H word, but we got to use it in this context because it's got to describe in detail and more precisely exactly what I'm going where I'm getting to with this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hated myself. I hated people because of the pain I went through. So amongst that pain, it was like, nah, screw people. I was more of a loner. I was antisocial, even though I'm an extrovert and I'm not antisocial by nature. I was going against my nature to be social, and I didn't realize that's the pain I was causing on myself, but because of that hurt, I would love on my dog or my dogs or whatever more because I'm looking to fill that void. We're supposed to
Mhm.
have that human connection, and yet we're depriving ourselves of it because we've been hurt or we went through pain or our relationship didn't work out or just the cut was so deep or whatever. And it's like the wounds heal. And especially if you are nursing that wound, it will heal faster. But a lot of people ignore the wound, and it's going to take years. Just imagine if you don't go to the hospital for a broken leg or something. Man, you're going to have a limp for the rest of your life because it did never set right. You know what I mean? You ain't, that's just, but that's what people are doing with their emotions. They'll go to the hospital if they break their ankle or something and get it properly casted and everything so that they can walk straight again or arm or whatever, but they won't nurse that wound emotionally. And
Mhm.
once I noticed that, that's when I realized, people love their animals because they're missing that void. And if they don't ever get out there, they're gonna die with the cat or a dog. What?
Serious alchemist, peace, God.
Oh yes, peace, peace. They're gonna they're
Mm.
gonna die with the dog or a cat. How many people we know died with a house full of cats, died with a house full of animals, and they ain't got no human in sight because they're living in that void space where they're attempting to fill it, and no animal, no.
But that's an interesting question though for me because animals have souls too, right? Or they have spirits. One of them. But anyway, if we just talking about just have feeling that love frequency, is it okay for a person to just love an animal? Again, like I was just saying, as long as you have, I just think unconditional love is the best gift to have in the times that we had it, even if it's a non-romantic relationship. If I don't know, maybe an animal was enough,
I,
because I
I
found myself, I was just having this conversation. I found myself the older I get, me and my goddess, we was just saying the same thing. The older we get, the less we want to be around people. But here's why I'm kind of on the fence with that because going to stuff like the conferences, the God Fest, and things like that, being around y'all, I could do that all day. But like being
pause,
around in the public and regular people and people that's not on my frequency, I found myself wanting to get away from that more and more.
pause, brother. You just answered your own question. Allow me to elaborate,
Exactly.
please.
Exactly.
Okay.
What? Yeah, he answered his own question because
Yeah,
the thing about it
he
is,
didn't even realize
listen,
it. Go
it's
ahead.
okay for people to love animals, and that's fine for people to love animals, right?
Mhm,
But that
mhm,
love you have for an animal can never replace a love of a human being, of somebody of the same species. So that love
mhm,
for an animal is trying to fill a void in terms of how you taking care of it and stuff like that. Because I see some people how they cooking steak and eggs and all these different things for their dog and all that different stuff. Right?
Hmm.
That's fine.
mhm,
Or gumbo.
But
mhm.
okay, but that love for another fellow human is a whole totally different thing. Peace, alchemist. Good to have you. And so that love for a human being is totally different. Yes. I feel like some people pour a lot of love into their animals because of past scars, hurts, and whatever have you, and stuff like that, relationships,
Mhm,
abuse, or whatever have you. So they find that, okay, I have a cat or I have a dog, I have cats and I have dogs, and I can take care of them. They ain't gonna talk back to me. But let me tell you something. The same thing also with animals. Animals can sense also whether this cat should be with you or not because they are very defensive too. Dogs are very
mhm,
defensive too.
mhm.
Because if you think about you and your dog very close, a person and their dog very close, and they bring somebody else into their home, that dog could end up attacking your friend. Or you decide to get into a relationship with somebody else, that dog or that cat become jealous and start
Right.
attacking that person
Hmm.
because they're being so used and accustomed to just you and them.
Right.
You see? And so now when you
Mhm,
talk about you're to the place where as you don't want to be around people. Those people you don't want to be around are low vibrating people. You don't want to be around them. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are vampires. They energy suckers. When you're around negative, low vibrating people, it takes a lot out of you when you leave their presence to go back home to rebuild yourself and grow all over
Mm-hmm.
again and get back into that
Mm-hmm.
right mind frame and stuff like that. So that's understandable. But when you get around the right people that are vibrating at the same vibration or even higher than you are, it elevates you, it encourages you, it strengthens you, and all that different stuff.
Fact.
So there ain't nothing wrong with not wanting to be around people that do not vibrate the way that you do. Nothing is wrong with it. But at the same time, too, those people need to see your light, feel your vibration that they may desire to want to come up to where you're at the same time, too. So total isolation could be only when you're meditating and you want to grow. But total isolation isn't good in terms of if there's somebody else your life supposed to be able to influence.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. And see what I was gonna say as far as like how you answered your own question, like you said you don't want to be around people, but then again you do want to be around people because of, the events and certain frequencies, and that's normal, you know. However, if you think about it, it's not normal to just be around animals. And history has taught us that. Those who are around just animals, they start to act like those animals. This is the reason for the Tarzan story. He couldn't communicate with Jane, he couldn't communicate with people. All he would make was monkey noises or howl like a wolf. Look at Jungle Book, same thing. You're around these animals, you start to take on these characteristics of the animal, and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
it takes you away from yourself. And when you said you on the fence, that's why you on the fence, bro, because it's not natural to want to not be around people. That's not natural. That's why
Right,
you can
right,
say
right.
all you want, and you can stay away from people for a while, but you're gonna find yourself like, damn, I wish I just had just one person who I
Mm-hmm.
could really get along with, and even if we're just friends, we're not romantic or nothing. I can sit with this person and be roommates or whatever, and we can live in the mountain, just me and this other guy who I completely understand, and he gets me, I get him, or whatever, and we're just friends, and we hunt and we do all this stuff. But what happens when he croaks or I croak? See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We now go back to screw people, but it's just unnatural, man. It's unnatural in my opinion.
Mhm.
I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
scientific evidence to prove that. I'm just going by what I've gone through my own personal life, and it was unnatural to feel like, I hate people. I can't stand people. I don't want to be around people. What it was I was just severely, highly allergic to bullshit. That's all it was. And once I realized
Mm-hmm.
that, I said, oh no, I don't hate these people. I don't just dislike these people. I'm just allergic to bullshit. So if I stay away from bullshit, then I won't, I won't have allergic reactions. And that's what I realized. It's just like staying away from
Yeah.
peanuts. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
got to stay away from it if you're going to have an allergic reaction. And that's what I realized. Once I did that, man, I love people. Even the ones that spit out that BS all the time and that gives me an allergic reaction. Sometimes you run into it, you can't help it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's people that ate, allergic to peanuts, but then ate it by accident, not realizing that something had peanuts in it, or that's why they give you in the ingredients it says was made in a factory that contained soy or contained peanuts. It's an allergy alert. You know what I mean? To let you know, don't eat this because we made this in the same factory where we make peanuts. Meaning the oil, if you're severely allergic, highly allergic, whatever you're eating, that product, even though it's not a peanut, it was made in that factory, it could potentially harm you. This is why they put that label on the package. So once I realized that and applied it to my physical life, my being, it changed everything.
That's right.
Yep. Yep.
Allergic reaction. Yeah, yeah, yeah. uh, Alchemist.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Jordan. He said, "Y'all cook today. Do I smell gumbo?"
Hmm.
Yeah, gumbo is love, man. A nice hot plate of food. That's love. That's why I
Love.
cook with such passion, man. Like, and I'm showing my wife how to, because she never grew up like that. She grew up in an environment where as long as the food was done, you get to eat or whatever. She
Beneficial
didn't know
food.
nothing about the main ingredient being love. No
Yes,
matter
when you
what
cook
it
with
is, I'm
love,
gonna
that's
put
when
my
the food
all
a
into
different
it.
thing. Yeah.
I showed her. I said, when have you ever seen me just make just a regular sandwich? Just slap the bread and the cheese and the vegetable or whatever, if it's lettuce or we don't eat mayonnaise or whatever, but mayonnaise, mustard or whatever, right? Say we just slap that together, just maybe even cut it in half, hand it to you, like. And
Yeah.
I told her, I said, when have you ever just something as simple as a sandwich? And my oatmeal has to have some, you know what I mean? I gotta put some finesse on that. My sandwiches going in the sandwich maker. You know what I mean? I'm making a sauce for it. I'm chopping up things like I'm going that extra mile because I
Mhm.
love to look the look on people's face when they bite my food, when they eat my food. I love the fact that my wife's friend had dinner with us, I think last week or the week before, and she said, I'm married to an Italian chef, and your spaghetti is better than his. That is enough ego treat for me right there. You know what I mean? It stroked my ego just enough
Yeah.
to say, okay, I want to do this more. Not to say, yeah,
Mhm.
I know I'm the shit. I don't have to say that. My food gonna say it. The look on that
Mhm.
person's face when they say, man, I've been eating fried chicken all my life and I ain't never had nothing like this. What did you do to it? Right? And I was just telling my sister yesterday, who was here, doing my hair and stuff. I said, I've found different ingredients to put on the chicken, and because I'm looking for something natural, the chicken came out way better. Like, if my mother could try it, she'd be like, "Yo, you got everybody I've ever tried." It's really that good because of the ingredients I use. Even the
Mhm.
oil, the cooking uh, liquid that I use, it's not oil. So it's everything has its place now. You know what I mean? The flour I'm using it's all natural. It's a nut flour like from oat or almonds or something like that. So I realized that nature of the earth is going to give us better taste if we apply that love to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're
facts, facts.
too busy running to the Crisco or whatever, canola and corn, and that stuff's not natural. I mean,
And then
because
it's
they
your
add,
intention too
yeah,
that you
yeah,
putting in it while you making it. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Yep.
And so,
People can taste that
and
for
love, man,
sure.
love is unconditional. Like I'm gonna say this on live. We ain't gonna go too far into it, but I was told a story about our brother. You know what I mean? And it brought me to tears, gang. That's how much love I
Mhm.
got for him. Like, how dare you
Mhm. Mhm.
to my brother? Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? As good as a person
Mhm.
he is, as loving as he just want to help people. He's just here to do whatever he can to help the next person. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you could really find it in your heart to treat somebody like that. Man, I will never ever forget that. I've already
Mhm.
forgave you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna forget. There's gonna be a time where the universe is gonna show you exactly who you are for things like that you've done, and that was unnecessary. And I wanted to bring that up, and I'm not talking about details because we got that planned for a different show, but I realized why I came to tears because of it. That's what I was doing to people. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Not speaking to them. They saying good morning, hi, it's a nice day, huh? And I just give them a smug look at them like, and and to them they was probably like, damn, this motherfucker look at me like I'm beneath him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a peasant in his world or something. And I didn't realize that was the energy I was giving off, but because I was so hurt and in pain and just what I mean, just done with people at that point. Like I was really at a point like I was just like, I don't care if I live or die, man. I'd rather die. I don't want to be here. And I kept saying that every day. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to fucking be here no more. Fuck these people. These people ain't shit. All they do is, they want to fight. They want to, mistreat and screw it. And I didn't realize I'm doing the same thing by not talking to them because I didn't want to deal with the BS. But I didn't realize my frequency needed to change. So that's why I came to tears when he told me the story. I was like, damn. But that was my karma. Now I'm getting all my dharma in life, but I still needed karma for how I was treating people when they would speak to me, when they would, put their hand out to shake my hand or, to show me some love, and I just spat in their face or I shoved them off and wouldn't give them the time of day, not knowing who that person could have been to me in my life. I pushed them away just out of pain and anger. So, I was meant to hear that story. And I was meant to cry tears from that story because that was my karma. I deserved those tears of pain because now I'm witnessing my brother go through something that I was putting people through. Now it makes sense. And even though it still shouldn't have happened, I understand why I was so emotionally affected by it. And I didn't get a chance to tell him, but I'm glad he's listening. I'm glad he's listening to this because I was going to tell him like, I've been analyzing it like, yo, that I deserve that. That's the same pain I was causing, and now I'm seeing it happen to a brother of mine, or it's happened to a brother of mine, and it showed me exactly how those people felt. Y'all probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little teary eyed now from it, like you know what I mean. But I'm not ashamed of it because I know that that's my growth. And that's how I grow in more love for the society, the people, because they're just lost. They're just in pain. And a lot of them are ignorant like myself was,
Shout out to Roro. Thanks for coming back around. Good afternoon, sis.
Yes, peace.
Peace, divine.
But yeah, like y'all was saying though, it is a lot more love out here than we think. Because like you say, if it was so much hate, then we would experience it all the time. But you might just go to the grocery store, get a hello, get a good afternoon, or good conversation from somebody. But of course, the positive is just not advertised, and that's the issue.
Yep.
It is a lot of love, but they always just want to focus on the BS. And I pride myself in that. I absolutely pride myself in being that person, and I don't do it all the time. Some days I'm more in that energy than others, but I absolutely get a full kick out of going to the grocery store, seeing an older lady that may need help with something and helping her. Like I work there. You would think I work at some of these stores the way I'll be. Oh yeah, I got you, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But it just it feels real good to me to spread that type of energy. And I really love to see the look on people's face when I'm a young brother with locks, and and they probably not assuming that from me, just looking at me. So when I do act like that, I just love to see the look on their face of I wasn't expecting that from him, you know, and it just made me feel good.
It should make you feel good because you know what they're seeing in the news. Young brothers with locks out here with ladders on their hip.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Gunning down whole neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Absolutely insane.
Because it does a big part in changing the perspective.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
You know?
It's a Yeah, that's for me. Like when I go to the market and stuff like that too, I just love to see the looks on those mama's face and stuff like that when they see you coming because they know, hey, just for you coming inside there with this big smile on your face and you greeting everybody as you walk past them. How are you? How are you? How about it? How about it? Just it just feels good that
Mm-hmm.
that people know you for the love that you bring, the love that you share. And then not only that, that they're looking forward to you. And if they don't see you, then they're like, "We miss you. How were you travel, you come here, you know, uh, just because that love and that conversation and stuff like that. For me, I can't speak the language that well, but just the smile on their face, and when you walk in the
Mm-hmm.
place, yeah. So yeah, that love is drip, drip, drip. We gotta drip in that love, man. Everywhere we go, people just gotta see, feel that love
Mm-hmm.
exuding, vibrating away from us. Our force field around us to just penetrate any darkness, any sadness that is going on because of the love that
Mm-hmm.
we walk in. That's the importance of love. What is love? Love is the ability to change an atmosphere, change the life of somebody just by your smile, just by your presence, just by your hello.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know? Yeah,
And I
man.
really, I really love when they find out I don't work there. They be like, I don't know, what's the last situation? But anyway, they'll be like, matter of fact, I'll just tell them like, oh, I don't work here. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. They just be, oh no, they just be assuming I work there. How much I be helping them out or whatever. But yeah, I really love those moments.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Those
Well,
are
Roro says I get a chance to indulge in this daily. I am DSP, direct support professional. All my clients love me. That's what's up, Roro. That's what's up. I mean, you got that. You divine for a reason. No cap in your rap, huh?
yeah,
Divine for real, huh?
yeah. That's and love is how we get back to source. That's how we get back to our God power. You know,
Hmm.
God
Absolutely.
God left all His powers within all of us. You know, like if we all, they say there's 8 billion people on the planet. If 6 billion people gathered around and sung kumbaya and said, we want to transcend time, we would literally transcend time. We'd go right through time. Right then and there, we'd create a portal and it would just, you know what I mean? Because that's all of that power together. You know what I mean? And that's where,
Yeah.
like, those groups of people, these are actual facts that can be looked up and be fact checked that I'm about to mention. There's groups of people, they're master meditators, and they go to specific areas where it's really chaotic, and they find a little hole in the wall building or something, and they go secretly in that building and they just start meditating, and eventually all the crime goes down, all the riots stop, everything ceases, to all the anger and hostility and fight and hatred just ceases, to just people just start just it's like they wake up, they have a brain fart. It's like, wait a minute, what am I doing? They just start going home, like, for no reason, like, it's amazing to
Hmm.
watch. I encourage anybody to go and look that up. Master meditators, and this is what they do. They're in groups. It'll be group of 12 of them, and they can go to any place. You can start a riot in any city, and you send them people to that city, and they're gonna find somewhere in the city. They're gonna sit down. They're gonna meditate, and the riot could have been going on for days and weeks now, showing no signs of end. And these people are angry. They got all this energy, and all of a sudden, people just start dropping off. Just, you know what? I'm going home. I don't want to do this anymore. And
Hmm.
it's amazing to watch. That's some real love right there. You got to really love the group and trust the group you're with, that everybody's meditating on the same frequency to stop this, bogusness or whatever that's going on. So
I just thought about something. the irony, right? And Roro 2 Solo. Then look at her name, right? Then look at what she just said, how her clients love her, but she say, I'm solo. Ain't that what we were just talking about? Like being around people, but not like being around people, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, man. I just had that connection. Man, hold on, y'all.
Yep, facts, facts. Yeah, in case of y'all listening don't know, you know, uh, our niece, the divine goddess, you know, she about, I think she about one or two. You know, he's on thing, but you know, she's crashing the stream, so that's why you hear Jay Hooks going in and out. You know, he got to take care of the little one. But my son crashed the stream last week, so it's okay. You know what I mean? That's love. That's real love right there. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure y'all smashing that like button, please. It definitely helps the algorithm for the channel. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, yes. Appreciate everyone. But this love is just so powerful, man. You know, love can change the dynamics of people's life, change the dynamics of a community, change the dynamics of a nation. You know, that's the power of love.
Yeah,
Love is very, very powerful.
absolutely.
As well. So when it's done for the right reason, you know, and not for selfish gain, but for the right,
Facts.
yeah, for the right reason and not selfish gain, not because of what you could get. You can pretend to love someone until you get what you want and then you walk away. No, when love is genuine and real, it it's long suffering, and I'm not saying suffering in terms of somebody abusing you, but your willingness to work with someone, you know.
Facts.
Um, love really it oh man, when I tell you the power of love and its dynamics and what it can do, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's the
see
most powerful
love
thing we got.
love cause somebody to their hate to just dissipate, just disappear because
Yeah,
of you constantly showing up and just loving them. Why you loving me like this? Just because you're human. Just because. But
yeah,
but I always treat you like this. I always that's so what? Because you treat me a certain way doesn't mean I have to treat you the same way you treat me.
right.
According to the Bible that we read, it says love covers a multitude, right? So
Yeah,
it doesn't say it encourages, it covers, meaning I can love you until you decide to learn how to love yourself.
that's right. That's right. And you know, love is, you know, we apply love to things like Bible, Jesus Christ,
Mhm.
Abraham, Moses, Prophet Muhammad. It doesn't matter. We can apply love to dogs and everything else. We apply love to our vices. You know, we'll apply love to a drug, but we have a hard time applying that to people. And it's just
Oh,
based off of the pain and the experience that we've endured over the years. That's it. It's not,
mhm.
you know what I
The
mean?
trauma you're holding on to.
We just got to change our frequency and focus on the love that we want. And then we
Yeah.
got to start pushing that out. And that's what starts coming back.
Start loving yourself and not loving yourself in a selfish way, but loving yourself in terms of forgiving yourself. You understand? Loving yourself in terms of appreciating who you are and your uniqueness, you know? In terms of loving yourself, in terms of considering yourself worthy enough to go through some of the things that you went through that you can now teach other people. What am I going to take away from the heartbreak, the heartache, the disappointments, the abuse, the being mishandled and misused, and all that different stuff? How am I going to love myself out of this that I am now can transform this or what you call it, alchemize it and turn it into something possible, pos-
Mhm.
positive and beautiful.
Facts.
Mhm.
I say,
I
And
see.
love yourself enough to receive love.
Yes.
Cause that's an issue too. Sometimes people will get that good love and then feel like they're not even worthy of having that type of love.
Yes, and
Yeah.
will
You know,
dismiss it or push it away
that's
based
very
on,
common.
yeah,
Hmm.
based
Yeah.
on what they feel they deserve or what they feel they're worth.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to do that a
Yeah.
lot because, I thought of myself as such a piece of shit because of the things
Hmm.
and the trauma that I went through. I would associate all that pain, hurt, and trauma into myself not being worthy or myself not being worth the love. You know what I mean? Oh, why do
Hmm.
you love me? You shouldn't love me anyway. Like I'd say that to people, and then it was strange
Hmm.
to them. Like, what the hell is wrong with this kid? And a lot of people didn't know, but the ones that did know, I'm glad they had foresight and insight to be able to tell me, like, listen, you gotta stop. You know what I mean? You gotta stop treating yourself this way.
If,
You know what I mean? I didn't get my first six pack until Daryl Hiltz was like, yo, you can do anything you want to do. You can have that same physique if you wanted it. Just apply yourself. Love yourself.
Hmm.
And it was amazing the love I found, and I found it amongst people that did not look like me. That's when I
Hmm.
first found true love, and they didn't look like me. They didn't have the same nationality. They were actually what I was being taught by a very prejudiced and misguided woman. I was being taught that they were the enemy, that they were the fault and the reason for all my ailments and ills and things that I was going through because, Caucasian people were the problem and the black man's life. You know what I'm saying? In a melanated man's life, they're the problem. That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm seeing on TV. That's what I'm hearing in the music. Right. But then you tell me that, but then I see love in the people that I was around that look like what you telling me was the blue-eyed devil, supposedly. I didn't see the devil in those people. So, you know what I mean? I saw the devil in you. You know what I mean? Your family molested me. Your family mistreated me. You mistreated me. You understand? But you telling me that these people don't love me. They showed me more love than you could even probably fathom, honestly. And I wouldn't be the man I
yeah.
am today if I didn't run into those people. I was meant to run into those people, regardless of the pain that I felt. And I constantly used to curse the heavens and curse the day that, I was taken away and this, that, and the third. And everything was it was just all horrible because that's the way I was taught to look at it. But as I graduated and gradually went through these programs and these painful processes and counseling and all this stuff, and it was painful. And I fought tooth and nail. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I fought, but these people kept at it and wouldn't let it. They wouldn't let it go.
And
And
give up on you.
yeah, they didn't give up, and that was the true love. And I saw that, and it was like, damn. And that's what made me reach out to them even later in life. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm still in contact with them now. Well, at least,
Hmm.
definitely in contact with Daryl. That was probably the biggest influence in my life. The
Hmm.
absolute biggest. Like as far as how to treat people, how to, you know what I mean? Like I learned because he's Jewish and he taught me, what his people went through and you know what I mean? Like and I was just looking like, damn. And then he was like, he didn't want me to see all the pain and hate because if you look at the history of what happened with the Jews and Hitler and all that, you're gonna see a lot of the pain and stuff. But if you look at things like Schindler's List, the movie Schindler's List, it shows the love. Yeah, the pain is there. They show the pain because they have to describe what he's fighting against. However, there was nothing but love in that film. That's all I saw from this person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna save as many people as I possibly can because it's the right thing to do, and I have the means to do it
Hmm.
for those simple reasons alone.
Hey, Alchemist serious. I said, hey, Alchemist serious. Hey,
Yeah,
Alchemist, safe travels, my brother.
safe
Safe
travel,
travels,
yeah,
man.
safe travel.
Yep.
Safe travels. 5 more. What's he got left? Safe travels.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Shout out to
Mm.
Roro again. She said, "Love really does overpower negativity."
Yes, it does.
Yes.
absolutely.
It illuminates and it lights up.
And we got a few people that just joined the chat. Is it okay if I play the video again, y'all, for those who might have missed it?
Go ahead.
I'm down.
Yeah, I just wanna play this video for those of y'all just joining us. This is what the the topic. This is what inspired the topic today. Is this video, and I think it's really powerful. And just pay attention to the genuine um, love coming out of this woman's voice. And she couldn't even compose herself. She started crying. But let's get into it real quick.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna take your shoes.
Because you don't have shoes. Are you okay?
Why were you gonna give me your shoes?
Because I see you are very. Do you need the shoes? I give you my shoes.
What? No, 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 no. I'm not gonna take your shoes.
Because you don't have shoes. Are you okay?
Why were you gonna give me your shoes?
Because I see you are very fit.
What's your name?
Dana.
Zachary. Nice to meet you. Love you.
I love you, Zachary.
Where are you
I thought I am from old Yugoslavia. I thought you need the shoes.
I do need shoes.
I go buy for you. I buy for poor people. I bring them food all the time.
Why?
I'm gonna buy you shoes. Come on.
Why?
Because I want to do that for you. I don't need money, but I can't afford it. I have to use my credit card.
Could you get me a pair of shoes? Do you?
Yes, I'm good.
I'll stay here.
What size are you?
Like size 10 or 11?
They were the nicest ones.
Pardon?
They were the nicest ones in there.
How much were these? 20 bucks?
So what? Forgive a shit the price. Life's too short.
How can I pay you back?
You don't need to pay back. You can just give me a hug. I want to try to save as many people as I can.
Are you crying
I
right
am
now?
not rich. Yeah, I'm not rich, but I have a good heart. We all the same. I don't care if you green, white, blue, black. Are you bi? Are you gay? Are you straight? You're a human being.
Can I put these on right now?
I can put it for you.
Are you sure?
Yes, yes.
My
I
foot's
bought
really-
the chateau. Who cares? The water will wash everything, but cannot wash bad heart.
Donna, thank you so much.
Okay, here you are, my dear. Try it. It's a for my heart.
Thank you, Donna. You made my day.
Thank you so much.
I just got.
Oh, you look so cute.
Do I look good?
We didn't speak on this last time, y'all. She put the sock on the man for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all remember Jesus back in the day used to wash people's feet. You know what I mean? So like, I had to pause and say something about that.
Mm.
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love you.
Have a great day. Okay.
I just got
Make
fired
sure-
from my job. I've been
Oh
here.
my God! Do you want me to buy you food? Come on.
No, I have food here.
Oh God, can I buy you something? Do you need any? Do you need a place to
No,
stay?
no, no, no.
Listen, the Burger King. There is pizza place.
No, 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 no.
Do you want my address? You come to stay in my house. Does everybody need a roof over head?
I want to share my lunch with you.
No, please don't give me your lunch. Let's go. I buy for you lunch. Please. Are you no? Are you okay? Why are you giving me?
I have $1,000 for you.
You lost your job.
I was blessing the first stranger. It's $1,000 for you.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Oh my God.
I love you.
I love you so much. Do you need the shoes? I give you my.
So they just met and they said, "I love you" to each other. What we were saying in the beginning.
Cause it's a frequency, man. Shout out to Aphrodite Venus.
Oh, shout out, most definitely.
For those that don't know, she was a guest on our platform before
Yes.
we started going live on YouTube and all of these other platforms. When it was us just chopping it up because it's just what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we gotta get her back on, man, for sure. Peace, goddess.
Yeah, shout out to Aphrodite. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Yes, shout out to her.
Dang, did you change something in the settings, bro?
I did not. I think something got we got our wires crossed between videos and screens because everything seems lower now. I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah. Cause we was just rolling. The audio was perfect. Wasn't no echo or nothing.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see if I can fix that.
I would like to recommend to everybody to check out Aphrodite Venus channel. She got some amazing gems on her platform as well. Over a
Yes,
thousand
yes.
something subscribers. So definitely, if you get
Yeah,
a chance, go check her out.
yeah.
Back
Type
to
in
her
her
back on
name
on the
exactly how you see
platform
it on
too.
the screen. Beautiful sister, drop gems. Make sure y'all definitely go check her out. Appreciate you stopping by too. Okay, let me see if I can get this volume back. All right. Hold on one second, Queen. We gotta get this mic fixed. I don't know what happened. I'm doing a couple things to see if it's back. I didn't touch anything. All right, let's see if that helps.
Okay.
Testing, Dr. Sublime. All right, yeah, we still low.
All right, y'all. Everybody seen it. Venus says she gonna be back on, so you gotta keep your word. Everybody saying you say it.
Yeah, it's on screen. Everybody hit the mute button real quick. Let me see if that helps. Did that help?
Testing. I don't hear no echo on my end.
Nah, I don't hear no echo, but I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it on your end. I'm not hearing it. Dr. Sublime, can you do a testing real quick? Yeah, you super low, super low.
Yeah, it's not your fault, doctor. I don't know. Something done got messed up when we.
Oh man, the chat cracking today, man. Shout out Abel.
Oh yeah, there he is. There
They
he
say
is.
big Ryan. That ain't King Ryan, is it?
That's King Raw. That is King Raw for sure.
Oh man, come on, God. Where you at, bro? Where you been, man? How you feeling, brother?
Appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you, thank you.
Once again, for those that don't know, he part of the tribe, bro. He busy, he got a lot going on, but he part of the tribe, and every time he come back, he welcome like he ain't never been nowhere. So
Yeah,
it's good to
it's
see you,
always a
brother.
blessing.
Yep, good to see.
Very knowledgeable brother. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and call him out on live too. We have a show we gonna be planning that he said he gonna be there for. So now he's public with it now. I done threw him under the bus. He said he gonna come and join the Sirius and I's show. So we
Bet,
expect you
bet.
to be there, sir.
Shout out to the comment Roro made. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Nature is absolutely love and Source took his time and designed it because just being in nature, it's I think it's been scientifically proven, right? That like being in nature is healing.
Yep.
I mean, scientifically proven or not, I'm telling you for myself, being in nature, I feel better. You know what I'm saying? So from my own
For real, I
observation.
could
So
tell you.
yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
For real. That's why I love my walks to the beach. On the beach is so, so healing and so relaxing and all that great stuff that nature does. Even sometimes sitting out on the patio and the birds come and just walk up and down on the patio there. It's just beautiful. And sometimes just
Hmm.
feeding the birds, putting food out there, putting a what you call it, a bird bath out there for just to watch them bathe themselves and stuff like that. It's just beautiful. Nature is, yeah, teach you
Hmm.
how to love beyond yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, it was hard to hear you, Goddess, but I definitely caught some of what you were saying for sure.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm low. I forgot. Saying I'm very low. Wow. I don't know what he did the last time to get me louder, but any which way, we give thanks and praise. All
Yeah,
praises.
something about that video
Yeah, it
picking
was
up.
something about that video.
You think maybe putting the video back on the screen might do something?
Uh, let's. Hey, I'm willing to test anything at this point.
Okay, okay, okay.
You ain't have to play, just rest it there and see what happens. Okay, how it sounds now.
Yeah, Doctor
Yeah, nothing.
Sublime, you loud and clear now.
She's back.
Hey, genius, bro. This is why we work together so well. The tribe, man. Shout out to the tribe.
Shout out to the tribe.
Shout out to the tribe.
So I want to hear that again, Goddess. If you don't
Yeah,
mind
I was
repeating it.
saying,
Hmm.
I was saying in terms of nature and nature showing its love, going out to the beach and taking that walk out there and just watching the tides and stuff like that. That it's so
Hmm.
peaceful and so,
Hmm.
and then when you talk about when I sit out on the balcony and the birds come and you just feeding the birds, it just that love nature teaches you
Hmm.
because I have some birds that comes on my balcony and you watch how they feed one another or they look out for one another. The big birds look out for the little ones and stuff like that. You understand? Or
Hmm.
you know that the pair that comes is a husband and wife, and so the husband would make sure that the wife gets something to eat and stuff like that. So it teaches you so much.
Hmm.
I started to what you call it, looking at for videos in terms of crows and the intelligence of crows and stuff like that.
Mm,
And I've seen some videos with them talking.
Mm.
Once they're showing love and they feel comfortable around you, they start to talk.
Mm.
yeah.
So nature really does also teach us love.
Hmm.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Roro, for sharing that.
And just think about it, right? A lot of the plants and greenery is it's green, the same as the heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know that it's a connection right there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful sounds I ever heard. I never forget. One summer, I was sunbathing. Birds was chirping. The little kids next door was outside in the backyard playing. So all I heard was children's laughter, birds chirping, and the sound bowl that I was listening to. And man, I tell y'all, that was man, that put me on such a high frequency. Just to hear the kids laughing, like I literally all I heard was them just out there laughing, birds chirping, in that frequency, and sunbathing at the same time. Man, that
Mm-hmm.
put me on a different frequency.
Yes. And the other thing of the power of love I want to share, what just came to my mind. The power of love will cause you to respect people. Like I look at us here at the High Vibe tribe and how we love and respect each other here.
Mm-hmm.
See the love, the power of love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Shout out to somebody. Y'all can't see it on fan base. Somebody said animals show us how to love, but we don't pay attention.
Mm.
That's facts. You know, that's a part of that nature statement that was mentioned by the divine goddess Roro. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I think that's important too because everything's showing us how to love ourselves, how to love each other.
Yep.
You know,
Like
and
I was saying earlier, animals just carry that frequency. I just
yeah,
watched the whole. It was like a whole 30-minute video talking about the power of cats and the energy that they carry and the healing energy that they have, and that they choose. You think you chose them, but really they chose you, and it was interesting
yeah,
how
yeah.
they
They
protect
still,
your spirit at night and all type of stuff.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Animals, plants, fruits, and vegetables. I mean, I was just learning this, right? You know, the fruits and vegetables take shapes of the things that they help in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So the walnut looks like the brain,
Mm-hmm.
right? The sweet potato looks just like the pancreas. That's exactly what it helps. Walnut, exactly what it helps is the brain. Grapes look like the lungs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and a nice dark grape will help your lung uh, breathing and stuff. Like, look this up. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So the earth has been showing us how to love ourselves and how to love each other.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to anybody that don't know, I would like to highly recommend that if you don't already, you better start loving the planet a little bit more. They say they say people that's not in tune with the planet, not on the same frequency or matching the vibration of the planet is might be might be getting moved off. Let's just say that. So definitely get connected for sure. See little Roro talking about it right now. Vibration, vibrating the water. Hmm. So
Yes.
something 607 uncles just saying, we all the same, we all connected. I believe that. I
Oh yeah.
believe animals and humans, I believe we all are the same consciousness, come from the same consciousness, but we just got our different paths and things like that. But that
Yeah.
that, that resonated with me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, these
Children too,
animals,
man.
they serve their purpose. These animals serve their purpose just as much as any human on this planet. Especially the animals like just all of them, man. You gotta think of even bugs too. You gotta think about the purpose that they serve. Bees, you know, pollinating the plants, and you know.
Yeah. Children,
Yeah,
man, they express love on on some of the highest levels.
yeah. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness,
And they
children. Oh
just
my
have
God, the
that
purest of
source.
love.
Hmm.
The planet
Yeah,
definitely evolving, brother. Evolving.
yeah. Children are the purest level of love.
Yeah, shout out to Abel. He said animal affection is more genuine and comforting than the sweetest words. You know,
Hmm.
that is absolutely true, brother. Absolutely true. I like what Michael Jordan said. The planet is alive. You know, that it you know, some people will really argue that, but everything that's connected to the earth is living. Even the earth itself breathes, and you know what I mean? There's the worms, the insects that are in the dirt, they're all alive. The grass is alive, the trees are alive. How can you say the earth isn't alive?
Hmm.
You know, are those trees and the grass and the dirt, is that not part of the earth? That is the very essence of the earth.
Exactly.
You know, we can disconnect from the earth and shoot out in a spaceship out into space, and you know what I mean? That earth's still breathing, it's still alive.
Hmm.
It's gonna be here whether we here or not. It's gonna still be here alive and breathing and doing its thing. So
Hold on 1 second, family.
Hey, family.
yes, frequency.
We learn from one another. We learn from Mother Nature. We learn from the animals. We learn from nature and in its entirety, I should say. You know, and that's the frequency of love. Being humble enough to learn from nature and to learn from each other. You know, the power of love. The power
Right.
of love also teaches you how to respect other people's opinions and feelings. Also, you know, you may not
Mm-hmm.
agree, but I love you and I love you enough that I respect your point of view.
That's right. Yeah, that's the 9 rules of engagement. Saying like, man, that's such a powerful tool. Like, if anybody's looking to find this to gravitate towards more love and to operate in a better place, in a better
Hmm.
state of being of love, you know, that 9 can definitely help, especially when it's a controversial topic. You know, if
Hmm.
it's a triggering topic.
Yep. I love you enough to forgive myself for not forgiving you. And
Yeah.
I forgive you too. I love you enough that I forgive you for your idiosyncrasies. You know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we got enough people.
Love is a powerful thing, man.
Yeah.
Look at children. They could go outside and play and hit one another and cry, and then the next minute they back playing and enjoy one another company all over again. Only when adults get involved, then children have this crazy attitude and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's pure love.
Yeah. Speaking of
Like
which,
it's
you know, I want to talk about something, and you know, shout out anybody in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button, please. That definitely helps the algorithm. But I want to express something. You know, the my wife's neighbors, you know, have a young daughter, and this young daughter, she can't be no older than, you know, 10. You know what I mean? And she looks to be like maybe 8 years old, but she makes these smug faces toward our family and toward another neighbor's family, just based on the things that her mother talks about, and it don't come from nowhere but her mother, because the young girl actually goes so far as to text the other family's daughter and talking about the very same topic that the adults were just discussing. So when that happens, you can only look at one thing. It's the parents, influence that's making these child this way, And my son, like when he's playing with the neighbor's daughter, and they're just in bliss all the time. They run back and forth. They're 5 pound, lock it down. They play, and it's only when these other children have been being introduced is when fights or disdain or things like that, things of that nature are coming into play, and it's what these parents are teaching their children. This little girl completely ignores my son now for some reason. you know, Ignores him. And he's so happy-go-lucky. Hi, hello, how you doing? How's your day? Grand Rising. She'll just ignore him. This other little girl, just ignore him. You know what I mean? And he'll call her name 50 times. She don't respond. I'm like, bro, you just gotta leave it alone sometimes. And he's confused because he don't understand why she's behaving this way. So he'll ask, I'm just gonna call her Sally just for the sake of privacy and respect. He'll say, what's wrong with Sally? How come, and his mother or I will just be like, listen, it is what it is sometimes, man. Don't worry about it. You said hi, leave it at that, move on, go play with V. I'm gonna call her V just for the sake of respect too. And when V and he are playing, they're completely at bliss with each other. So I keep him away from, like, when she goes to play with the other little girls and stuff, because she wants to be around girls and people her own age, because she's a little older than he is. I keep him back, like, just stay back here, especially because I know them other little girls. They don't, you know what I mean? They over there cussing. They over there talking about Puffy. You know what I mean? They should know who the fuck Puff Daddy is, let alone be talking about what he's going through in this trial and all this stuff. How do they know this stuff? You know what I mean? What the heck are we teaching our children? You really, and I'm gonna say this because I'm unapologetically blunt. You don't love your child if you're teaching them that type of thing. You don't love them completely, in my opinion. My opinion. Because if you love your child completely, you are going to separate as much as possible. You can't save them from everything. But I'll be damned if you ain't gonna try. If you ain't gonna give it your all. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see if I can block every single bullet that comes his way. I know some are gonna get by. I know that because that's a fact of life. That's reality. I'm still gonna attempt to catch every single one like Superman. Oh, got that one. Oh, got that one. But I'm gonna block the major ones. I'm gonna block those rocket launchers that are really gonna destroy his subconscious, destroy his mentality, his way of thinking. And he's got a really beautiful, loving soul, and I don't want to ruin that. And if that means keeping him away from children that are learning the wrong things from their parents, then that's what it be.
And that be the problem most of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It don't even be what you teach them. It be what they learn from outside sources, other kids that parents don't care nothing about what they passing out to their children. And and that's the scary part about it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's why as parents we have to protect our children by all means necessary. You know,
Mhm.
like you say, we can't save them from everything, but we can protect them as best as we possibly can and teach them Let we be the teachers to our children. We have to love our children enough to teach them ourselves, not put them in the hands of mommy, daddy, uncle, auntie, grammy, teacher, but we as parents ourselves take that front role in teaching our children right from wrong, how to love, how to avoid, how to run from temptations and peer pressure and all that different stuff, you know?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
And certain conversations we have as an adult, as adults, we should not allow our children to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
That's love.
Shout out to the divine again, to saying, so true that I remember forgiving my mom when I was 18 for leaving me behind at 1 years old, and happy that she was able to forgive. We got to forgive these people because otherwise we carry that
Yeah.
burden on, and we're not loving
Mm-hmm.
ourselves if we're in constant, hate or just bitterness or holding on grudge against these people. As a matter of fact, I appreciate what these people have done in my life, whether it was painful or not, because now I know what love looks like even more. And the more somebody does something to me that I dislike, the more I learn how to love even harder, how to love even better, how to love more unconditionally, you know?
That be
So,
the thing though about mothers, but especially black mothers. I'm gonna say that because that's what I've seen the most. I'm sure all women do it of all nationalities, but my experience is just from seeing it from black moms, and a lot of the times they just doing what they got to do.
yeah,
I know a woman that um used to leave all three of her sons in the house, but in her mind, she had them well trained and prepared and knew what to do, and it wasn't like she was going out and doing nothing negative. She was going to work. That was the best option that she had for the hand she was dealt. And I
hmm
respected that about her. I hated that she had to leave her kids in the house, but I respected her enough for at least thinking that, at least I got them trained and prepared to be in the house. They know what to do. They know to call me. They know not to answer that door for nobody. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
she was just handling her business, and that's society has forced a lot of people into that position.
absolutely. And that's loving your children, though. It
Hmm.
you are caught between a rock and a hard place. Do you not feed them because you don't want to leave them in the house? It's different when you choosing an addiction or a man over your children. That's not love.
Right, right. Yep.
That's not love at all. There's some
That's so
mothers
true.
are putting makeup on their daughters, painting their toes and dressing them up real nice and saying, now listen, you go in there in that room and you be nice to that man because that
Mm,
man is going to feed us. And that man is about to do something heinous to that little girl. And that mother
mhm,
knows it. However, in her mind, I'm feeding my daughter, I'm keeping a roof over her head. And in order to do that, I got to let this man touch my daughter. That's happening right now to this day, and that's not
mhm,
love. We just been conditioned that we got to do whatever it takes. And some things we don't have to do. We just got to find the real true love. And like, look at this woman, you run into this woman on the video and you won't have to sell your daughter to this man in order to feed your family. That's crazy. But we get so conditioned to stuff like that. So love is just a concept that doesn't exist to a lot of people, And I hear a lot of
mhm,
people they'll say, I love God, but I don't know what love is, you know.
mhm,
It's like, nah, bro. How can you know? You can't. You have to know love if you love God.
mhm,
You just ain't found it in people because the frequency is not right yet. You still got to
mhm.
fine tune that frequency. Keep changing that dial. You know, every time when you turn the dial on the radio and it's just static, and you got to really fine tune it to get it nice and perfect, to get it to come in nice and clear. You know, them old school radios, you got to get it just right. It's got to be exactly on it. Because if you put it on 97.9 and it works, but you put it on 97.7, you can still hear some of 9, but you're getting a little bit of something else. And you're getting a little bit of static. And you know what I mean? You got to keep fine tuning that frequency.
Yeah,
And that's
facts.
when you find that true love.
Facts. Yeah. Hey, family, do y'all mind if we go ahead and get ready to close out?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm gonna go ahead and, to give a nice little shout out to the folks in the chat. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe too, man. Hit that bell notification so you know every time we go live. And don't forget to smash that like button. It helps the algorithm for us. Thank you. We appreciate it. Love y'all for stopping in. Again, the chat was booming today. We had some blasts from the past. Shout out to Abel coming through. Shout out to Aphrodite coming back through. We miss y'all. We definitely got to get y'all on for an interview and see how things have been going since y'all was last on.
Yeah,
Yes.
Venus got a powerful story. I'm sure King Ryan do too, but I know for a fact Venus got a powerful story to share that I think is worth hearing.
Yeah, and she followed, something, and excuse me, I'm sorry. My son just distracted me because I don't know why he's got two different shoes on and one of them is bigger than him. It just distracted me when he walked by. Our babies be crashing the stream. Yeah, I saw Aphrodite, man. She kept at it. She kept at it, and now it looks like she's under a good apprenticeship where she's, learning how to apply the practice to an actual, to something. She can actually apply it to real life. You know what I mean? And rather than just practicing on paper or whatever, she gets to practice that tattooing onto skin. So shout out to your growth, sister.
Yeah. So my closing thoughts would just be, family, love yourself. Be open to love. Be open to receive love. Don't give up on love. Um, you might have been through some trauma. Um, had some heartbreaks. We all have. Everybody have. It's not just you. So like Dr. Sublime was saying earlier, you gotta have that strength to just keep going because your person is out there, or even if, like, again, even if it's not romantic, somebody is out there that's gonna love you for exactly who you are. And when you find that, hold on to it for as long as you can.
Yes, I say. Yes, family. Love is very powerful, and love helps us so many ways along the way, even just in terms of loving ourselves or loving somebody else who seems to be unlovable to somebody else, And so when we look at nature and allow nature to teach us how to truly love from a pure place, not from a place of expectancy and a place from condition, but loving without expecting anything in return. Yeah.
I'll say.
Facts.
Say.
I'll say. Yeah, my final thoughts is love is its own universe. And to me, that's the best way to describe it because there aren't enough words, there aren't enough examples to say what love is. We can only give you an explanation as far as we've come. But we know love goes even deeper than that of what we've discussed today and what we felt. Because every time we think we've reached the peak or the pinnacle of love, we find something even more loving and more in that frequency that's vibrating even higher. And, honestly, I think love is the highest form of frequency. It's the highest form of music. Anytime you got a song that somebody pours their heart and soul into with pure
Mm-hmm.
love, it always ends up timeless.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a timeless piece of music when it's just love poured into it.
No, that's facts. I'll say to that. I'm gonna say this
I
real quick,
say,
just to add to that, man. I was I was in the car with my cousins yesterday. Car was packed, all my cousins, and so only when I got the guys in the car do I play some rap. So I say, man, cause I know you get tired every time you get in here. I'm playing the same old rap song. He start cracking up laughing. And I say, shoot, I do that because I only play this rap stuff when I'm with y'all. When I'm by myself, I'm playing R&B and old school, man.
Mhm.
So, but that's that love frequency,
I found a new love frequency as far as music goes and rap goes, man. And I've been noticing, I'm like, wow, these people I listen to, they're telling you, I come from the streets, I grinded, I shot at people, I sold drugs, but every time in the song, they're not glorifying that. That's just a side effect of what they went through in their life, in society, or whatever situations they were in. But what they really be telling me, and when you listen to it, that's all I'm hearing is be your best self, be your higher self, love, you know what I mean? Love your journey, this, that, and the third. Like go for that peace wherever you can find it, and those are the people I've been listening to as far as rappers go. I don't want to hear that drill music because I lived that life. And it wasn't pretty, it wasn't nice, it wasn't nothing to be proud of. So I don't want to listen to that because that's not the frequency I'm in anymore. Even when I was living that life, I didn't want to listen to that kind of music. I always gravitated towards what was more wholesome and loving and caring and emotionally driven. Like I always was gravitating to that. And it didn't matter about the way I was living. I was doing that for a reason, survival or whatever I tell myself. However, the actual fact that, I wanted to listen to the good, positive stuff is honestly what helped me get to where I am now faster.
Yep, yep.
yeah,
All
awesome.
right, family. I gotta get ready so I can get out of here. I got some stuff to do today. So another great conversation. I appreciate it. Love y'all as always. Shout out to everybody that tapped in the chat too. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all made this even more fun today. And see y'all next time.
Ashe, ashe.
Okay. Yes, family, it was such a pleasure to have all of you that are in the chat, that are listening via fan base, via listening via Facebook. So connect with us. Facebook, YouTube, fan base, TikTok. I'm not sure Instagram is yet, but any which way, connect, connect, connect. And it's always a pleasure. And as I always say, be gentle with yourself because we are on a journey. Much love, family. And shout out to Queen Bee and to Alchemist. They were not
That
with us
part, that
physically,
part.
but they're always with us. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Ashe,
Together we
ashe,
rise. Together we rise.
ashe. Yes, shout out to the tribe members who are not with us here today. However, they are with us in spirit as always. And I just want to say thank you guys and doctor's orders, man. Y'all heard it from the doctor herself. Tap in, you know what I mean? We do this Sunday dinner where we cooking gumbos and oxtails and all kinds of shrimp and everything. You know what I mean? We cooking on Sunday. If you looking for a place to go on Sunday, tap in right here. We definitely gonna be your favorite everything. We gonna discuss them topics that a lot of people don't want to discuss, We're going to bring up the controversial issues that are plaguing the society today, and we're going to analyze and we're going to break it down to the best of our knowledge. And we're going to do that with y'all. So tap in. Shout out for everybody tapping into the chat. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And remember to look in the mirror for the change you want to see and love your journey. Peace, peace. Until next time.
Peace,
Peace.
peace, family. Peace.